Sorry,
freezer.
Testing 1, 2.
Right, if you want to move it to like a comfortable
Right,
position
go.
that you can talk into,
I mean, that's good enough for me.
yeah, that should be fine.
Just sit here.
Test, red.
Move it forward a bit.
Test red.
Spirit song that I can sing.
Is it alright, the level, is that?
Oh, baby. I just see. That was-
David, let us know when you're going to start.
Right, that's you.
Phone off.
Phone's off.
Can you hear me okay, boys?
Yep, that's you. Are we ready to go?
Right. the nervous of my life.
Listen,
Did you Sean in here?
This was the exact same one that Sean was in.
He's did an interview with Sean.
That'd be interesting. How much were your teeth in Turkey? Aye, right.
How much were your teeth in Turkey? Where did you get your tattoos?
Aye.
Is he known? He's known.
He's in Korea.
I was going to say he's in Seoul, no?
I can't
Is
believe
he?
that.
Korea.
Is he staying there or is he just in there for a
6
holiday?
months. I think you want to kind of hopefully get a chance to do it.
'Cause it's a lovely country.
It's good.
Korea's
a lovely
Korea's
country.
It is.
No, to be fair, Korea's a quality place.
Aye, it is.
It looks like it's for the future.
Aye, it
Futuristic.
does. Aye,
Has he
aye.
got a wee studio?
A studio.
Fucking somewhere to sleep.
Aye, but it's staying like. What's it staying?
Has he got room for me?
Oh, I go across. Aye, Debbie's
I'm
across
gonna
there.
go.
Debbie's visiting him just now.
Really?
Debbie and
I
Maisie.
know I go when Davies.
So aye, no, it's only 2 weeks. Aye, it's only 2 weeks.
Sorry, boys.
You're alright.
Not seen him for ages.
Right, thank you, Jim and Paul, for taking your time today to come to the Fife College and help us with our project. We're wondering if we can have like a wee interview, just chat, have a bit of laughs, and
And do you want me to speak? Or
Aye,
just
obviously.
Jim,
So, my first question would be, how did you get like into football? What was like your inspiration to play football at the start?
Yeah, I started, like most people my age, I was born in Lochgelly and born in the house, Gardner Street, and I learnt with my pals in the street. We'd just go out and we used to play a game called Gatey. So the gate was your goals. So you had to hit the gate. So you just got the ball and you'd muck about. But it was about half a dozen of us, in the street that all played football. So, and then we were called the Gardner Street Boys, right? And we would play against the St. Bart's Boys and just other street teams in Logelly. We'd just go up the park and play and stiffen each other. It was great. That's when I brought Paul's dad in, because he was stiffing them off for me.
Aye, my dad was the Raj.
He was there. No, but just for the street, just there, and then we progressed to the school. Okay, and I went to initially Lochgelly South School, which was just the end of the street, and then my grandmother passed away, so my mum and dad went down and stayed with him, and we all went down and stayed. And I went to Lochgelly West School after that, and then we had a school football team. The first organised game, Mrs. Reid. She was the deputy head teacher. She was our manager. Probably the best manager I ever had, because she picked me all the time. But no, Mrs. Reid, and we played against other school teams, but only maybe Hillybeath was one team. That's where I met Dickeny and Campbell for the first time. And then, as I say, the other school had a team with St. Patrick's. So we'd play against them, and that was it.
So, like, obviously, you played for Dunfermline and Countybeath, am I right?
Aye.
Like, what was like the difference between the two teams? Like playing for them?
They are huge difference, to be honest. When I left school, and see Paul's granddad, my father, right? He wouldn't let me leave school. He was a coal miner, but he liked reading and whatever, and I could have left a year before to play for Dunfermline. I had a contract to play, but he said to me, my father said, "Look, get your qualifications first," because he left school to help get money for his family, my uncles and whatever. So I didn't get to go to the year after, but I left on the Friday and started as an apprentice on the Monday. 22 senior pros and 4 apprentices. And at that time, Dunfermline were a big team, 43 games in Europe. And I was I was a schoolboy international. As three of the other boys that signed were all schoolboy internationals. So it was a big... You had to be that good to get to Dunfermline at that time. So, and then sadly I broke my leg at 20. And I never really got back to playing like how I used to play. And I wasn't getting a game in the first team, so I got player swap for a boy called Bobby Morrison. Went to Dunfermline, I went to Cowbeath, but I was only there for 3 months or so.
Right.
It was not the same, no.
And then after that, I think it was a couple of years after, then you went into the managerial.
Kelty Hearts.
Aye, Kelty. Well, where was that? Was that not the junior league?
Aye,
The very
it
start.
was their first year in the junior league.
Aye.
Kelty
And then
Hearts. And they asked me I played 2 seasons with Oakley Juniors. I played as a sweeper because I couldn't tackle I wasn't as good a player. I'll tell you, I'll give you a laugh. When 1973-74 season, Leeds United and Liverpool were trying to get me for £50,000. And 3 years later, I got transferred from Glenrothes Juniors to Oakley for £100. That was it.
But it shows you though how one moment you're there and then a broken leg, it just changes. It changes the direction.
Changes everything.
The first one was really bad, Paul. Sorry, Paul's my nephew, and
I'm not his carer.
I wish it was soon to be.
Soon to be carer. I watched you walking in. I watched you walking in
Oh.
there. I think, oh, somebody's got to take responsibility.
Once you finish with your dad.
That's right.
But no, it was. What was the question?
No, but then just in terms of your
but-
how it's broken.
No, the £100 for £50,000
Aye.
to £100, and Leeds and Liverpool were big teams at the time. It was great for me, but so when I look back at my dad's advice to get my qualifications, higher English stood me in good stead, because when I applied for a job with the civil service, that higher English got me a level above. Instead of starting at the bottom, I was a level above that, so it helped.
So what you're saying is that parents always know right then.
Well, on that occasion, I would say so. They've been through what we're trying to get through. You know, like say, sometimes you take their advice. Sometimes you just go and get drunk on away.
Well, qualifications, it's good to have them. It's never going to kind of it doesn't necessarily determine where you're going to end up. But I suppose at least it gives you options.
Options, yeah.
Aye, that's right. It's better having them than no having them. But you know, the qualification of living real life, that's as big a qualification as you need.
Inspirational. It is to be fair, honestly.
It's for you young guys.
Yeah.
Paul's the same. He's
Still a
he's
young
learned
guy.
from his dad. And
Thank you, James.
But you know, his dad he had a wealthy experience in his life, different types of experiences, and Paul's learned from his dad. His dad was a clever guy
In his own way.
in his own way. Definitely, pal.
Yeah.
Paul, definitely in his own way, which is important.
Let
Everyone's
that
got
answer the question, because I'll be asking other questions.
Aye. So when did you start going into the managerial? What made you go into the managerial?
Well,
for
I think because you know, when I was 20, I was playing. I was in the Tommy Dockery squad. He was the manager of Scotland at the time, and I was going into the professional youth side, playing for Scotland. And the time that was when I was 17. When I was 20, I was finished at the level I was wanting to be at.
Yeah.
And but during that time, I was coaching, like say, Fulford Primary School. My pal had a bad injury, a knee injury.
Yeah.
And they called him Hoppy. He was limping about, and he asked me to take the primary school, the under-14s. So I took them, me and my pal James McLean, who stayed in Gardner Street Locality, and we took the boys, and that was great. So I got in very early just to coach them. My mum used to wash the strips and everything, and she would she would look after the boys, and that was great. So I got into it then, and a team called Dunfermline Rail Club, they were all the under 18s, so I would take them for a year just to help my pals out. But at Oakley Juniors, I played for 2 years. We won the Fife League, the Junior League. Excuse me, and that was great just to get. But again, after 2 years, I was 23, 24. My leg just kept swelling up, and I couldn't. And the Junior League, Paul will tell you, he's been involved with the Halibeath and Dundonald and whatever. Glenrothes. At the end of the season, you play about 3 games a week.
Oh, definitely. I always think at that level you've got to appreciate the people that are playing, because I mean they're not getting. They put more of an effort in sometimes. They're not getting treated like all the care and attention. It's you're playing for, you know.
My ankle used to swell up, and I couldn't play. I could play 2 games a week, but when you played Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then Saturday, I just said no. I stopped. I started playing golf actually. Logelly Golf Club. I played that with my pals and enjoyed that. But then I got Kelty Hertz. Oakley Juniors asked me to come back and play. So I was engaged to my wife to be at the time, Mary, and she stayed in Kelty. So on the Tuesday, they come to see me on the Sunday, asked me if I wanted to play. I says, I've not played for a year and a half. I've no. I come to train. I says, no. No, I'm not first. I wasn't first. And wee boy Tommy Wilson, he persuaded me. I said, right, Tommy, I'll come on Thursday because you're just going to have a wee game, a wee kick-about. On the Tuesday, I ran for Logelly to Kelty. And honestly, knackered, man. Hadn't have done it. Honestly, I was knackered.
James is thinking about that. How far is that?
But for me at that time, and I was about, I wasn't that much. I was half a stone overweight. Then I went to training on the Thursday and we had a wee 5-a-side thing. And I played on the Saturday against Newbury Juniors, we won 5-1. So I just started playing. And I was a player coach.
Aye.
So that's what got me in. And then after the 2 seasons, Kelty Hertz come and asked me to be their manager. There's been a boy there, Johnny Forrester, had been for 2 or 3 months at the start, but they sacked him and asked me to be the manager. So I finished second that season, and then I went to Cowdenbeath, assistant manager at Cowdenbeath, when I was 25, I think, 26 maybe. And wasn't ready for it, to be honest, at that standard. Juniors, it was easier,
Aye.
But when you go up to the expectations for the players is a lot more, and I wasn't quite ready for it. So the manager resigned, and I just left at the end of that season.
Aye.
And then Dunfermline asked me then, at the end of the season, James, Pat Stanton, a Hibs
I was
legend,
just about to say that, aye.
Pat Stanton asked me to take the youth team at Dunfermline. So I took the youth team, he left to go to Hibs. Tam Forsyth come in and made me the reserve team coach when I was 27. I was in charge of the reserves. And then he got paid off. And they put me in charge. I think there were about 500 applicants for the job. And I got offered the job part-time. 50 £50 a week. £50 a week and 6 litres of petrol. And I couldn't drive. Didn't have a car. So they gave me a club car and I didn't have a driving licence. Didn't tell nobody, you know.
Were you asking for these, you know, when you're talking about it in terms of how you progressed through the different teams, were you asking for this or did people see it in you? Does that make sense?
No, I never asked, no.
So going back, you ended up as a Dunfermline manager.
Aye.
But what you've just explained there in terms of different moves, were you that kind of player or person that's saying, look, I want to do this?
No.
Or were people coming to you and saying, so people just saw it in you, people thought, right, do you know what?
When I was young,
you're the right person to kind of to take this on.
I think people had noticed what a difference I made at Oakley Juniors, Paul, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we won the league. And that was a major factor in that, the coaching side and the playing side. When I played sweeper, which was quite easy, believe it or not, for me.
Yeah.
Because I still had the grey matter to understand what I should be, where I should be. And I was helping people in the park. Because I'd played at high standard, remember, You know, I've been playing against Rangers and Celtic and all that, and all the top teams. So to play there and to step back one, just get the ball, get the goal, get the ball, make a pass. It was easy. So I was, and then when I went, I was at the start. I was probably natural enthusiasm,
Yeah.
the natural side. I really wanted to do this, and then people just offered me the jobs. But starting to give me the youth team job, it was brilliant. I was back in. I never expected to go bump so quickly. But then when Dunfermline got, I tell you what, I keep saying this is what got me the Dunfermline job, Paul, right? Now, Dunfermline were part-time. I remember I was in charge, temporary in charge, for 3 games, I think. And then on the first Sunday, I went into the office at Dunfermline. And I was looking through this book about players that might become available. Right, so I could talk to the manager. Come on, I says, look, this guy will be available, this guy. And the phone rang. And it was the vice chairman at Dunfermline Football Club. I found that strange. I said, hello, and we spoke about for 10 minutes. Hi, Jim. I says, who's in? I said, oh, just myself. Doc Yellen, his name is. Just myself. I'm just looking through this thing. And then on the Monday, I got the job on the Monday, and I'm sure he's saying, well, look,
Aye.
that's... It doesn't need to be in there.
We've got somebody there. We've got somebody there that's all over it, understand it, gets it.
Committed.
Yeah.
And I was the first Dunfermline fan, Dunfermline manager for years.
Yep.
Kind of cared
Aye.
about
But very young. You were 27.
29.
29. That's pretty young.
27 when I got the
Aye,
27 when I got the youth job. 28 when I got the reserve job in 29. 674 folk my first game against Queen of the South. We won 1-0. Paul, we've had me at a Christmas party.
Did you feel young? I know it sounds like 29. Did you kind of have that moment? You know, there's the imposter syndrome. You know, everybody talks
I
about
wouldn't say
imposter
imposter.
syndrome.
I wouldn't say I know what you're saying, but I felt, guys, that I can't be any worse. There were 34th out of 38 teams. That's what Dunfermline was. Now, when I was there at 14-year-old, we won the Scottish Cup, 1968. That's when I signed as a schoolboy. Semi-final European Cup. My God! And here I'm taking over. They were 34th. I couldn't even win the Fife Cup.
Because when you took over, you won League One, and then was it like 2 year? I think it was
League Two.
League Two, and then
There were 3 leagues, James.
yeah, Rocky, yeah.
Premier, first and second. We were 34th.
I mean like
Second.
what was meaning like League One now then,
Aye.
the equivalent to League One now.
Aye.
So you won that, and then I think it was 2-3 years, and then you won the
No.
League One. No, was it
no.
not?
My first year, James, right, I finished third. There were 2 teams went up, and I finished third my first full year. We lost out in the last game. The next year we won the second division, and the next year we got promotion again to the Premier League. So I got promotion 2 years on the trot to go to the Premier League.
That's impressive.
Then we got relegated. There were 3 teams getting relegated. Normally I would have stayed up, but they were changing from a top tier 12 to 10.
Yeah.
So I would have stayed up normally, but then we got relegated, which was great because we weren't good enough. The players were great because they got these promotions. They were super, but they weren't good enough to compete at the top.
Yeah.
Whereas when I went back up, because I won the first division right away after it, I bought George O'Boyle, Irish international, Paul Smith, Istvan Kozma, 47 games for Hungary. You know what I mean? So that's the type of boys I was bringing in, and we did really well. And then I resigned. Shut up.
I was going to ask about that actually. When I was obviously researching a little bit about this interview, there seemed to be a lot of outroar about your resignal. There was a lot of people that...
There were 4,500 folk that walked up the high street for the Glen Gates. 4,500, led by Stuart Adamson, big country, right, the Skids. Stuart was a pal of mine, and him and his son Callum walked up. They were leading the march, and I've still got the photos. the chief inspector of Fife Police at the time, Graham Bennett, he phoned me and says, Jim, if you come near Dunfermline on the day, I'm going to put you in the cell. Because if I'd went, he felt that this place will just...
Erupt.
So...
Was there a reason you resigned, or was it just...
I was just about to ask that.
It was funny, actually. It was a funny reason. 'Cause I knew there was a problem. I went to Cyprus for my holiday with... I didn't know if Jamie was born at the time.
I think Jamie was born in Livingston. I don't think Jamie...
No, he was
Was
in
he?
Dunfermline.
Was he?
But anyway, my wife, my daughter, my pal Brian Marr Gunter, and his fiancée at the time. And there was a guy called Milos Dridzik, a Yugoslavian boy, and we were getting offered them. So I did a bit checking. His agent stayed in Kirkcaldy.
Oh, the big goalie guy, no.
His agent.
What's his name?
They came. But he got players for Hertz, a Yugoslavian agent. So I phoned him and they gave me the Yugoslavian manager.
Right.
So I phoned the manager of Yugoslavia and they told me all about him. So I says, no, I'm not going to do it. So I went abroad and I got an email, a fax. There was no emails at the time, a fax saying, look, we've signed him. And I thought, oh, there's something strange here. So my assistant manager, he went and signed him because one of the directors was an agent at the time. So when I come back, I went off my head a bit. And then that was when it all erupted. They wanted to make me the chief executive. And my assistant manager was going to be the manager. And I said, no chance. No chance. They offered me £30,000 to stay.
Wow.
Yeah.
30k?
At that time.
At that time,
At that time, that's mental.
It's not very much money now.
I mean, I'll take it.
But anyway, so I says, no, I'm not doing it. No idea. And then that's when everybody found out what was happening.
We'll talk about
It's crazy. Crazy. Milos Dridge, right? Now he got something like... The firm started spending mental money. Giving players £20,000, £60,000 signing on fees. You know what I mean? Milos Dridge, I think he played 2 games in the first team and they got rid of him. I'm saying to myself... Anyway, it's no easy managing a football team. It's different being a coach. If you're a coach, you can get on with it and you've no pressure. When you're the manager, you get analysed every Saturday.
Just like David Gray for Hibs right now. He's a brilliant coach now in the limelight for Hibs and he's doing horrible.
Well, it's maybe not just his fault.
Exactly.
Then so anyway, I left and I did my travels. I went up to Inverness was great. Paul come up and it was cheeky teenager.
I was always
opinionated.
I was probably opinionated. I would be going back to it because I was, what age was that at the time? I was probably about 15. And it was a massive thing. Back page of the Sunday Post, all the newspapers, and then Jim ended up at Inverness and there was Dunfermline supporters buses. This went up to watch Inverness games. And not went to the Pars. So that was before they became Caledonia Thistles. They were Inverness. They were Inverness Thistle. So instead of going to Dunfermline games, there was Dunfermline supporters buses
Went up to Inverness.
Crazy. So it was stuff like that. You know, I suppose it gives you an idea of the impact.
It was crazy because I lost my first 2 games at Inverness. I lost my first game 4-0 for Cove Rangers at Cove. My second game was at Ross County. My pal Bobby Wilson, he was the manager of Ross County, beat us 5-0. And I just started moving things about and doing it my own way. And I signed Wally Spence for Rosyth Rec, a junior international, and Wally Callaghan, who had signed already for Dunfermline and Cowdenbeath. And so I signed them, and we won the next 10 games, 30 points out of 30. Which was amazing. It was, and the first game we got beat was the game Paul come up. We got beat. Was it a draw or did we get beat for Clark? No, Clark, the other team.
I can't remember.
Inverness Cali.
Right.
It was either we got beat 2-1 or we drew 2-2 or something. But so that was it. So it was great. And I got headhunted then.
What was the difference between the Pars and Inverness at the time?
Huge. It's huge. You know, one, you're playing against different opposition, the principles are the same. You've got to get your team ready for the Saturday. It doesn't matter who you're playing. you've got to get them ready to win.
Mm.
That was the preparation for the performance was the same. And I think the boys at Inverness appreciated that. They were getting treated, and I can remember going up,
Mm.
and during the close season, me and a boy Jock Duncan, we went to dressing rooms. We painted all the dressing rooms and the showers, and we'd get it all. And the boys couldn't believe it when they come in. They had a look, and it was because I was going up anyway, so I said I may as well get stuck into it.
Aye.
And we tidied everything up. We got it all tidied up. But the boys, whereas Dunfermline, the players were getting. When I left Dunfermline, there were 2 semi-finals, and we were beating Rangers and beating Celtic and all this. And when Inverness, but great bunch of boys, can I tell you, superb.
I think if you think of I remember again. If you think of the junior league, I remember the ground.
Mm.
I mean, it was like a junior league ground. If you think of what the Highland League is, even so, it's progressed. But back then, it was junior league. So if you go from a team that's competing
Up there.
up there,
Hillbeath would have done well.
So that's what I'm saying. The Hawes would have probably
and
done well. So it was that standard of football.
Aye.
But you suppose you've got to. I suppose if you think of Inverness's journey, it shows you how aspirational they were then, because you would have been. That was a big thing. It was again their results were starting to get then on the back of that.
Aye.
This was before social media as well, right? So their results.
So it's just
were,
all the paper.
Oh, it was a big thing.
So their results were then suddenly in the paper. They following the gym. You were kind of reading the paper to get the results. So people started on the back of Jim being there. People started to check the Highland League results. So it was kind of that time. Yep.
It was strange, Paul Lloyd, because they got so much publicity for somebody like myself going out there. But there was no vacancies down here. What do you do? Sit in your backside waiting and waiting. The longer you wait on something, it bypasses you.
Aye.
So I says, I'm going up and trying to do my best up there and make a name for myself. The only time I failed, the only place, it was Montrose. I was here a year at Montrose. A great chairman, but no, the results were very, very poor. Got them to the semi-final of the B&Q Cup. We got beat off Greenock Morton doing it at Capel, which was a good effort, but...
Would that be the equivalent to the Trust Trophy now? Or
Yes. Aye. Aye. Pretty much. Yeah.
so same as the Trust
the
Trophy.
first, second and third division.
Aye. Same. Exactly.
Right,
aye.
yeah.
Same idea.
Okay.
Aye. The B&Q. That's right. There you go. Yeah.
So we got, as I say, we beat Cowdenbeath, or combined. I can't remember who else did we beat. Stirling Albion, I think. But so we did all right. And they got the youth team at the BP Youth Cup semi-final. We got beat off of Herts 6-0 in the semi. But they went on to win it. They beat Celtic in the final. So they had a really good team, Hearts, at that time.
Well, I'd like to ask you going back to Dunfermline.
Aye.
About obviously the signings you were saying. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong here, but
We'll find. You're
I'll
setting
tell
the scene, James.
Well,
we'll find
I'll
out.
tell you.
We'll find out.
We'll fact check it.
I'll tell you right now, sir, if you're wrong.
I've got a thing here that you signed a player called Istvan Kozma
Yeah,
for a record fee at the club, £540,000 at the
something
time.
like that.
I was estimated 54.
540.
That's the one, aye. And it's still the club record fee to this day. Like, was there a reason why you wanted to sign that guy? Would that stand it for you?
Well, when I went up the first, see my problem. When I went up the first time, we had won the second division. Went up the following year, and a lot of the players that had been with me at the start, I took them with me up to the Premier League. Now, unfortunately, there's a huge gap between the first division and going and playing against Rangers at Ibrox, Celtic at Parkhead, and all these players. There's a huge gap, and some of these boys couldn't make the transition. Tried their very best, and when I said to them, "Look, I'm not going to keep you," I didn't let them go. I says, "You're not leaving this club as a failure. You're going down as one of the best players that played here in these leagues, and it's never been done in Scotland. And you're part of that success. But I'm going to get players at a different start." And they understood what I was saying. It wasn't a folly. It wasn't what you know, because I gave them a chance. It was, and then we got relegated, and then went back up. And it was people like George O'Boyle. I got George O'Boyle for Bordeaux. I went across to get Cosma, and George O'Boyle became available. £200,000. Played for Northern Ireland. And it was great. Didn't score a goal for 16 games. Maybe 16 or 17 games. And when he scored his first goal against Hamilton, a great goal. Once the pressure was off him, great. Him and Ross Jack, Cosma, the three of them. Ross Jack, £15,000 for Dundee. Right, 15 grand. 21 goals in the Premier League. His value went for 15,000. Cosma. Great. The best hat-trick I've seen in Scottish football.
Against St Mirren.
St Mirren, Paul.
Dunfermline fans loved Cosma. Absolutely adored him. And interestingly, back then he was really silky. So I mean, he was seen as a luxury, but you kind of knew, you just saw that he was class. And then every Dunfermline fan of that era remembers that hat trick. And then when he left Dunfermline, he went straight to Liverpool. How many? If you think again now, how many players leave a club to go straight to Liverpool? He didn't kind of have the same success.
No,
but the fact that he went from Dunfermline to Liverpool was different, was massive.
It was a big fish at Dunfermline.
Yep.
You go to Liverpool and you're playing with what's his striker's name? Ian Rush.
Yeah.
You know,
Big name that.
Terry McDermott, David Fairclough couldn't get a game super sub, and he went down for 625,000. So it was good business.
Good exchange. Yeah.
Good.
Bought him for 500, sold him for 650.
It's all right, yeah.
That's
not bad.
Good ROI.
Well, David Fernandez is the best ever. Got him for nothing, and a year and a bit later, 1.2 million.
By the way, that's...
If only Dunfermline could do it now.
That was Livingston. That was
Livingston.
I said.
When I went to Livingston. They were a great team. I've no touched on Livingston, I've no touched on them. People forget.
Aye.
Well, honestly.
Aye.
People forget that was at Livingston for 9 seasons.
What leagues was that you were there for?
Third, second, first, third in the Premier League. What else you want to keep?
Everything.
That was some record, boys, aye.
What's
probably we finished third, probably better than my record at Dunfermline.
So if you were to kind of look at it, the Livingston success probably was better than the Dunfermline success in the sense that I have turned into his carer here in terms of talking on his behalf, right? Tracking his history. So finishing third and then getting that team into Europe. So that team that finished third, I believe finished above the likes of Aberdeen and stuff. So if you think of the Livingston team in terms of that, Old Meadowbank,
Celtic, Rangers, Livingston.
And then getting into...
Was that when they were at Middlebank? Yeah.
Aye, so Middlebank, Livingston, and then getting that team, again, same thing, all the way up the leagues, and then getting that team into Europe.
We played Vaduz, Liechtenstein, Vaduz, we beat them, and we got Sturm Graz. The year before, Sturm Graz had beat Rangers 5-0 in the same cup, the Cup Winners' Cup, and we got beat 5-2 in Austria, and we beat them 4-3 here. 8-6. Was it 5-3? It was 8-6 on aggregate anyway. And that was just brilliant. You were getting full houses at that time. Livingston. 8,500 folk. This 10,400 All-Sea at Stadium. We were getting averaging 8,500. Phenomenal. Third top, made a fortune. 1.2 million for Fernandez. He got into Europe, into the second room, there's another $250,000.
What's out of your whole managerial career, right? What is one season that you look back on and go, that was amazing, for you yourself?
Well, to finish third top is any manager, when you start off, you know you're not going to win it. You know Celtic or Rangers are going to win it at that time. And you know you're not going to be second. So the target for Aberdeen and Hibs, Hearts, all of them is to finish third. And Livingston Football Club in their first year did it. Amazing, man. You've got to think about that. We're miles behind Rangers, and we were second. We were 20 or 29 points behind them or something. But we were... I'm trying to think. It was Celtic, Rangers, Livingston, Aberdeen, and Hearts, I think.
And again, looking at the football now, if you think back a few seasons ago, in the Premiership, Leicester, and what they achieved, if you the equivalent would be the fact it's kind of that equivalence. If you think that Livingston got promoted,
And then third.
then third, and then Europe, having never been there before, and actually a relatively new club, albeit they'd kind of formed out of Meadowbank. So and again, you think of things, could that happen again? And I'm not sure something like that could happen again. I don't think there's that equivalent.
Aye.
That
Only the money
equivalent now.
involved now.
No, I don't think there's that equivalent now. So again, it shows you, I suppose, the significance of it.
Maybe the closest team would be probably Kelty Hearts, coming up from the Lone League.
Aye, I suppose in terms of, I suppose if you look at Kelty, you could argue that Kelty's as a village. I think they're the only village team throughout the leagues, and if you consider what Kelty are doing, and again appears really self-funded, you've got to give them massive credit.
Of course.
I mean, there's no rich benefactor coming at Kelty, and in terms of what they've achieved, I think it's massive. And to imagine a Kelty getting into the Championship,
I know.
just off their own back, off raising their own money, that would be
Hard work.
huge.
Hard work.
That would be huge. That-
Great.
They're trusting in their youth too.
Yeah.
Aye,
That's what I
they're-
think.
And then ex-player Michael Didson's the manager.
Yeah.
He kens the boys, he kens how to play. He
Kens the club as well.
Aye, and well thought of. Aye,
Got
and,
ahead
and,
of us.
and I think everybody involved, you could see with, let's talk about Kelty, but you could, a club like that, I think loads of clubs have got it, but you could see what they've achieved.
Aye, but Gretna were close, but they had a multi-millionaire sponsoring them.
Mm.
And they had a good go at it, but then he died and his family didn't want to get involved in the football. They weren't interested. So
They were mindful of their. I think it was when he got ill. That's when they pulled back, because he basically was just spending all his money on
football.
living his dream. So pretty much.
But
Well-
the Livingston season was great, but Dunfermline, I think, because it happened so quickly again, to go up and stay up was an achievement at that time. And that was the second time we went back up, won the first division, and stayed up. That was great, and got them to the Hampden for the first time since 1968 when they won the Scottish Cup. And we went back there with the team. We got beat up for Rangers, but it was a great feeling to go and get the build up in the atmosphere, give them a taste of it.
What players would be like, playing at Rangers at that time then? Like, what players would be playing at Rangers?
And that was the soonest revolution, eh?
Oh, aye.
So you had Terry Butcher, England captain, Graham Roberts, Chris Woods, Mark Walters, Trevor Stephen, anybody else? Ray Wilkins.
So no an easy team to beat then.
No.
If you're a Fifer, it's easy.
See, going back to that again, that era as a fan, again, that was before the Premiership was what it was, and again, the English teams won in Europe, and that's when you got stadiums like East End Park. East End Park sold out. Just, you probably did miss a wee bit of an era in terms of growing up, because it was all terrace and just
Go.
it was, and before social media, it was you couldn't beat it. You couldn't.
was great.
I mean, it was.
Celtic and Rangers, we played Rangers in the Cup, Graham Souness, and all the Rangers fans were, well, not all of them, but a lot of them were buying tickets for the Dunfermline end, because the Rangers end, because they had all these international players, the Rangers, and they were building up. This is when they were going for 9 in a row too. And so they were all wanting to be part of that. And then you had to stop the game and get the Rangers fans out the Dunfermline end, doing the rain end. It was great. 17.5, 18,000 folk at East End Park. It was great, man. But if you're talking about seasons, right, which was great. I had a lot of good seasons, both at Livingston and East End. And when I went back, I took over with 3 games to go, and they were bottom of the league. And they says, right, Jim, take over. Davy Hay had got paid off, and I was good pal of Davies, but it didn't work out for him. And so Jim, take over for 3 games. Folk were saying, they're no fit and all this. It was all about confidence, eh? So we went in and we had a chat with them, and we told them what we were expecting. And no bawling and shouting. What I did say to them, it was a disgrace that they'd got a good person sacked. They got a good Davy Hayes, a good guy. He's very, very clever football man. Eh? Anyway, I won my first game 5-0 against Dundee. So we moved up one place. On the Saturday, Dundee were playing Inverness. So they went a point above us. I think they drew and they went above us. And we played Dundee United on the Sunday up at Tannadice. And we beat them 1-0. So that was 2 victories out of 2. And then the last game, I had to get beat 7-0 to get relegated. But that was the Dundee United game, the 1-0 up at Tannadice, was one of the best results in my career I've ever had. And it was just on a mindset. It's an amazing instrument in your brain.
So for that season, that was just 3 games then? You managed
3
it, then
games,
that was you?
that was me. Then next year I kept them up again. And they got them to the cup final against Celtic. Jimmy Johnson died on the Tuesday. It was the Jimmy Johnson Cup final, they called it. And my team wasn't as strong. I'd lost a lot of good players. Skerla, Barry Nicholson. Who else had left? Noel Hunt. Darren Young broke his stay in the game, and then Noel Hunt, him and Mark Burchell played up front. They were doing great. He pulled a disc up at the old course in St Andrews, or the Fairmount. We were up there preparing for the game, and so that was it. My team was gazunked.
Aye.
Got beat 3-0.
What? Oh, these are just like a bit. See when touch back when you said that you got the job when you were 29 at the Pars.
Aye.
How nervous were you in your first season with the Pars at such a young age for a manager?
No.
No nervous.
No fear. No fear. My man, no, I didn't. Paul. Why fear a job? Why fear something that you want to do? I wanted all my life. I didn't want all my life. I should have still been playing. I had an option, sit and watch it, and I said, "It'll be part of it." So just go for it. Take the opportunity. You get an opportunity in life. If you didn't take it, you might never get that opportunity again. So I says, "I'm going for this. I'm going for this." And the team was in that 26 players, and 11 of them go at the end of the season. 11 of them go because they weren't good enough. And only one of the 11 players said, why you picked on me? I says, no. How long you been here? He said, I've been here 3 years. What's the highest you finished? Right? And he answered that question. I says, that's why I'm letting you go.
Aye. We need to. Well, I suppose it's it's
the truth.
It's a great analogy. That's the thing though. At 29, sometimes you've got no fear at 29.
Yeah.
Actually, if you've not yet made your mistakes, you don't know. If you're not yet made your mistakes, you're going to approach it with confidence. Sometimes, unfortunately, when you make mistakes, you maybe sometimes you can overthink things. At 29, if you've just as you described earlier, if people have come at you and seen something in you, I would imagine that does give you a level of confidence, and encouragement just to crack on with it.
One, it wasn't for the money, 50 quid. Jesus God, no. 6 litres of petrol. It wasn't for the money I was taking the job. I was a Dunfermline supporter. I'd left school, started with the team with the big boys, and then played the games, doing really well, and then that was taken away. Right? Not because of the lack of ability, it was just an unfortunate injury. And this was an opportunity. I'd been in charge of the youth team. And that was easy handling young boys. You just told them the truth. Hey, that's just what you've got to do to improve. This is how you can improve. It's not like saying to you, look, you're no good at that, and walking away. Well, how do you fix that problem? And that's what I was good at fixing, mentally fixing the problem. And one of my biggest strengths was I got people that were good at what they could do, and I was doing what I could do, and we combined that. Gregor Abel came as my assistant manager, very experienced. Gregor, you take the training. Boom, away you go. At that time, part-time, was only a fitness thing, getting a touch of the ball. It was nothing.
He was a PE teacher.
PE teacher.
He was a PE
and he was
teacher.
used to that.
Yeah.
But it's no rocket science. And he came what he was doing. I could concentrate what I was doing. And then assigning good players. John Watson, the golden shot. 3 years later, he's the golden shot. John Watson, Bernie Slavin, Alistair McCoist. That was the three and he's up there. First person to score 30 goals in the league. Big John Watson. Brilliant. Transferred him to Fulham for 50 grand. So he did his bit. He was going down the way. No, it's good. And I still made money off him.
Aye.
Great. It's a good pal of mine. Then I brought Ian McCall in. 7 grand for Queen's Park. Sold him with Rangers for 200,000. But he did a great job. You know, at McCarthy, he was a left midfielder. Put him back to centre half. Signed Davy Young. He scored 2 goals. His first game in the Premier League. We drew with Hibs 3-3. Davy Young scored 2 goals. So I was bringing better, not just better players, a lot better players than what we had that were good enough to stay. So that was easy peasy.
The players that, sorry,
No, you go. I already asked my question.
with the players that you had in like the whole like Dunfermline, like the 8 years at like your first stint at the club.
Aye.
Who was like the most technically gifted, and who was the most like hardworking? So like maybe not like the best technical,
Aye.
but had the grit and determination to be
Everything.
better.
Aye.
Yeah.
Well, I signed 2 boys for Motherwell, £50,000 each. The money I got for Ian McCall, 200,000. I signed Raymond Farnham and I signed Paul Smith. Paul Smith's now the assistant manager at Falkirk. Both midfielders. And Raymond Farnham, he was a marathon runner. He used to go and run marathons on. So fitness-wise, but he could play. He could play. He could get the ball, pass the ball, up and down, box to box. Paul Smith, he could play. He was a striker, come midfielder. So I could play him up front, I think twice maybe. But he could, and they boys could play. But also, the most important thing in football is, first and foremost, you've got to do the hard graft. No matter what league you're in, you've got to do that. You've got to, teams against Rangers know, the players know they're better players, right? They're better players, Celtic players, than what you've got. But they're no better players if somebody's rattling their ribs every 2 seconds and getting the ball off them. So the first and foremost, you've got to be able to compete and no fear anything. And that's what I installed in the team. But
when you were at Dunfermline, who you saying was the most technically gifted player?
Cosma was Ian McCall.
Aye.
Ian McCall was very, very gifted. He went to Rangers. Didn't quite make it. It's a different thing. Ian McCall going from Dunfermline to Rangers, and you're trying to get Loudrop and McCoist and all these guys, you know. It's a different mindset, and Ian doesn't quite make it at Rangers. Cosma, the same principle at Liverpool, different standards again, but oh yeah, boy, it's all about mind. Your mind, how you treat it. I didn't care. Honestly, I didn't care when I loved it when Rangers came to Dunfermline. You say, there's nothing to lose. It's when you've got a team like say St Mirren or Motherwell coming to Dunfermline. You say,
Yeah.
we've got to beat them, eh? We're expected to beat them. Whereas Rangers, Celtics, no. It's just,
Well, I don't know if you again in your research, James, but there was obviously the famous cup game with Dunfermline put Rangers out of the Scottish Cup, and again at the time that was seen as pretty significant. Yeah, that was a massive shock at the time.
it was for me too.
Right.
But no,
You were getting bonus
Ian, who scored? John Watson, the second goal,
Smith.
and Mark Smith.
with the cross.
Aye.
I was a ball boy that game.
Was you, Paul?
Just to, yeah.
Brilliant. But great man. I love beating the big boys. Sending them home. Cheerio.
I know. I wish my club can do that, but
What club's that?
Hibs.
It didn't be stupid.
I'm not, so I'm not got my hopes high for this season.
No, good boys. Hibs, aye.
Just about to get relegated this season.
Oh,
mate.
no.
They kind of feel like they've been on that.
Germany.
They feel like they've been on that kind of yo-yo thing for
2 or 3 seasons.
it feels like that's just for whatever reason. Interestingly, about from a management standpoint, see if you were to look at Hibs in the last few years, and nothing against the different. Again, maybe you look at what Aberdeen's achieved this year
Aye.
with the manager that they've picked. It's like, wow, what a decision! What a decision for a club that since Derek McInnes has kind of lost its way. I know I'm taking this on a different tangent, but if you look at Hibs and you think because what a ground Hibs is, and the whole infrastructure, and then what appears to be in the background, it's a big club, and yet the decisions that they've made at certain levels just seem kind of
It's weird because they're always up and
strange.
down.
Aye, strange, and yet,
Because-
yeah, if they got the right person, if you think going back in the day, getting the right person in place, that's a club that should be like
Yep.
Hearts.
They'd never
should
asked me,
be
Paul.
should be at third. Aye, that's right. Aye.
Like, when
It
we-
should be third. Do you know what I mean? Sorry.
Sorry, but when we're like in like the championship, we got in Alan Stubbs, who was at the time like okay, and then he came to Hibs. Then we finished second behind, I think it was Rangers, because they got obviously liquidated and then come back up. So we came second, but we won the Scottish Cup that year, and that was the year. I think that's the only year ever in the Scottish Cup history that
Aye.
that's
Sorry.
that two championship teams were in the final of the Scottish Cup,
Right.
and then Hibs obviously.
That semi-final,
Won
I
it.
forget that.
And then I think Alan Stubbs went down to England, and then ever since then I think Hibs have been a bit up and down. Up
I
and down.
remember you saying to me actually, he would be your choice again, Stubbs. You would
Yeah.
take Stubbs back,
Last year I would have, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think now he's in a I think he's in a job now.
is he? But
So-
you would have taken him back.
I would have taken him back. Just to even see, because obviously he was good for us in the Championship and one good season in the Premiership, but after that he went down to England and then
Aye, not to make this about Hibs, but
Paul.
I think the Neil Lennon season was a good. I think he had a bit of an impact.
And what's that got to do with me?
I know.
Sorry.
So keep going. Sorry.
we can.
I just know, like him.
Shut up.
I know that James loves chatting about Hibs, so we
Right,
get a wee Hibs
see
chat, right?
See, when I go, you and James can have a wee.
I know, but James, I used to love my wee chats with James about.
Oh, well,
he
there you
loves
go.
He loves his football.
Right, so sorry, back to you then, eh? But no, obviously you're still part of Dunfermline,
Yeah.
director, am I right?
No, I'm an ambassador now.
Ambassador. Right.
I stopped about 2 or 3 years ago, just after the German boys come in.
Oh, right, yeah.
When they come in, I wasn't doing nothing really at the board meetings. I wasn't deciding anything, and they had set up their football plan. So I just says no, I'm not bothered.
Aye.
So there's no pressure heavy.
So obviously, so you're just an ambassador now, then, yeah.
Aye.
So what are your thoughts on Dunfermline like in the past 5 years?
Oof.
Obviously,
Well,
we
it's not
went
been-
to League One for a season, but
That,
came up right back up though.
I saw a warning when they won, no disrespect, but when they won the second division to go into the championship, I didn't think it was a good standard. And we had the biggest budget, so really, if we hadn't won it, it would have been a major shock. But again, it's stepping stones. It's a bigger challenge now. The teams are better, and we had to come up, and it's not happened yet. It's not happened. So everyone thinks we'll get out of this second bottom. We said it before, and we didn't. We got relegated. So we just hope.
Take it game by game.
We've got to just get the finger out and just go and get it done. Simple. It's no hard.
What's your thoughts on like the current team, like the team like now?
They're all good guys, eh?
Mm.
But they've got to step up.
Aye.
They've got to show what they can do.
And the signing of Chris Kane's a very good one.
He's a good
So the
lad.
two
From St.
ex-St Johnson boys, I think.
Aye.
Again, what's the other chap? Witherspoon? No.
And what the
David
Aye.
Witherspoon,
yeah.
two good signings.
But David's not getting a game, eh? For some reason. But James McBake, that's James's decisions to pick the team and get them playing. But we're just struggling to get results. Sometimes it's just a wee bit bad luck, and it's the odd goal. But you've got to turn that odd goal to your advantage and make it a plus own goal, or a plus goal rather than the minus getting beat one and plus one. Sometimes I think the players maybe, because of the expectations at Dunfermline, sometimes it's a wee bit something they've got to overcome.
But is it the same thing? I mean, I'm mentioning Hibs, but is it the same thing in that,
Could be.
Dunfermline
I've never seen them.
they've not achieved where you would expect Dunfermline to be? And is it just...
No, but
Right, is it just something needs to happen to
we've
kind of
got-
to move
well,
forward?
Well, hopefully the new board are coming in, or the new owners, are coming in and investing in the team. I didn't take anything to do with that now, but
Right.
hopefully, it's all rumours just now. There'll be 2 or 3 people might know what's going on, but If they come in, let's hope they didn't muck about. But it's a lot of investment, Paul.
Yeah, I know, it's a big.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
If you got the money, it's all right buying a club. Easy, that's easy. But right, we'll show you the club for £1 million. I can get half a dozen people who say, right, let's buy it. It's the other million to invest in going forward.
Mm.
That's the difficulty. So you're not £1 million each, you're maybe 2 or 3 million each. So that's it.
I know, to get, because there's a great book, Soccer Economics, that talks about that, the people that get involved with football teams and then you never ever make any money from it. So you wonder why
Very few.
it's vanity that makes you do it. So
Aye. You're right. And sometimes people take over a club, invest in the club, and they think they can everything about management, fitting players and everything. No, do what you're good at. You make money, and if you want to go and see your team win, invest your dosh, and Fergus McCann get your return.
Yeah.
That was clever, what he did. I'm out here in 4 years, and I'm going to take my money if I've got any profit, and I'm away. Boom. That's it. You're right. That's
Businessman.
Aye.
Eh? It's business. Football's a business.
True.
It's not just a sport. It's a sport to the fans, and it's a passion for the fans. But for the real guys that buy it's a business.
The owners and the players, it's a business
Aye.
to make their money.
More so the owners. Some of the
Aye.
players. The players nowadays in the lower leagues are not making a lot of money.
Aye.
No compared to what they used to.
Because I was at, sorry to go back to Hibs, but Edinburgh Derby, right?
Aye.
My mates, right? And I was talking to him, I was like, if they weren't getting paid like the money that we're getting paid, how many of them do you think would actually still be at the club, playing for the club? And I was like, maybe one. Martin Boyle, that's because he was at the club for obviously 10 years. And I'm like, it just shows you like some of the, like the, what do you call it, like the reasons why people play football now are a bit shifted from maybe say 20, 30 year ago when they weren't getting paid as much money as footballers are now. So like, do you think that like the shift, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but like, do you think money is like influenced football like a lot more than
Of course it
should
is.
have?
Of course it is. It's not the players' fault. Well, when I signed for Dunfermline, I got £12 a week and £5 in the reserve, £17. But you compare that to the people in the dockyard or down the mine, like my brothers, they were getting £4 10 shillings as an apprentice. Right? I was getting 17 quid because I was always getting a game in the B team. And if you got in the first team, I think you got £40 and £100 bonus. So I was very lucky and got into the A team very quickly. But it wasn't about money then. If I went to Liverpool, I was going for maybe £70 a week down in England. I can't mind what the offer was going to be. Didn't get that hard, but rumours were that's what you're going to get. Blow your boy, great. But nowadays, no. Listen, I wish I got. Would you refuse it?
What?
Money
No.
for a football player?
Nah.
Nah,
No a chance.
goodness.
Aye, it's
You
an
couldn't.
interest. Aye.
I mean, it does depend what the offer is on the table, though. So I think it just like it does depend. Like obviously, if say Hibs come here and say I'll give you 10k a week, but then maybe Hearts offered me 40, I'm got Hearts because like
Why?
like I hate Hearts.
What you want to do
You
that
would take it
for?
for it.
I would take the
I thought
extra.
you were a genuine Hibs fan.
I am.
Guess what I would do?
The amount of money.
I wouldn't even talk to Hibs. I would just keep going. I would say, right, Hibs, carry on.
The amount of money
what-
can make me play for
offer me what
Celtic.
more.
You know
Eh?
what?
The amount of money can make me play for Celtic.
But see, that's a lie though.
No, it's not.
That is.
If Rangers offered me
No.
about
no,
£5 grand.
Take Rangers out the equation. Take your £5 grand out the equation and Celtic come up and give you 40 grand a week.
You're gone.
No.
So as a fact, so, right,
Hold
so
on,
you were
hold on.
offered.
I want to speak to this idiot here. Right? I want to speak to this guy. He's nothing about economics or budgets. So, right, have you got a girlfriend?
No.
No, that reduces it by £5 grand, right? But, yeah.
So you would say no.
No, listen.
You would say
Come
no.
on.
There was no other options on the table. They came in and went. You would say no.
You're lying. If
Nah, I probably would, to be fair.
if a piece of
Don't be
paper, if
I'd-
a piece of paper was in front of you, sign here for 40 grand a week. You're signing it.
I probably am.
Just
Well,
lie.
stop being stupid and waste my time. No, listen, that's a huge thing. You're not telling. Look at Maurice Johnson. Right? Maurice was a Celtic fan.
Aye.
He was going to sign for, he agreed with Celtic, but woof,
Went
what
to
did he do?
Rangers.
He went to Rangers for more money. a better deal.
Scott Brown's a Rangers fan as well.
Yeah.
Or he was.
But it was.
No, it's a bit. But he's made lots. Cristiano Ronaldo. Listen to this one. Talk about money. I was down at Manchester United, right? I was a guest with the financial director who dealt with all the fees and the agents and that. Cristiano Ronaldo was flying to Man City to sign for Man City, right? Alec Ferguson says, we've got £18 million worth of retail in the shops. As soon as Cristiano Ronaldo signs for Man City, that's product that's getting chucked to, given away, 18 million. We've got to give him an offer at least. They went and they phoned him, give me the same as Man City and I'll sign for Man United.
Oh, this is when he signed the second time. When they went back.
when they went
I
back.
remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah, because there was rumours, and then because he was the manager at the time, and then apparently Fergie had made the call to one.
Was
of
it
the
no Solskjaer?
Aye.
That's what I'm just.
Solskjaer, aye.
I
That's
think it
what I'm
was
just
Solskjaer
saying.
and then it's gone into Ten Hag.
That's what I'm just telling them.
Aye. I know, I'm backing you up. I'm adding a
No,
wee
but
bit.
listen,
I'm
I
adding,
didn't
I'm
get
adding
the
a wee
deal.
bit of substance, some a wee bit of facts.
Right, guess what his offer was, boys, right? This was his offer that Man City were giving him. £1 million a week. £1 million and just transfer to whatever they want it to go into. No tax of it, like say, what would they pay, 50
Aye, so that
500,000
next
tax.
But just
So it's
straight-
went into his accounts where they were going to fix it. £1 million a week, that's what you go.
What are you
meant-
United do?
Eh?
At Man U?
No, it's City.
Man City over
Right,
but,
okay.
but he went to Man United for the same deal. And the second time we went back, it didn't work out, did it? He got so many games, it was all right, but it wasn't the same player.
His first season was alright,
Aye,
but
I remember,
I think it was when Ten Hag came in that it all just blew out.
He did
Yeah.
play him.
And then he got blamed for everything. And then he left, and
Aye.
then they're even worse. And apparently he was a problem.
And that's what exploded the the explosion in Saudi
Anyway.
Arabia.
Yeah.
Is that no far more interesting talking about Hibs?
Aye, it was, aye.
Sorry, James.
No, you're all right.
Paul's mother was a Hibs supporter. Paul's father is a Hibs supporter.
Aye.
He's never seen
He's
them.
he's never seen them.
but
But it was
Both at
he denies it.
what, he was a Hibs?
Aye, but he denies it. But I know that he's got anything against Hibs. But I
No,
think he's
I've
just-
nothing
aye.
against it.
Aye.
A lot of my pals are Hibs, and I'm only winding you up, James. But no, my granddad, uncles were off up the borders in Churnside. So if you come for the Churnside, the borders Berwick, up the way, the first game, the big game, is Easter Road. So they all used to go and support Hibs.
So there you go.
And that's it. And their dad, he was Hibs.
Aye.
Because he
Or Beck Rangers.
no, Berwick Rangers.
And you went down the way.
I used to go and
Of
see them.
course.
Used to go to see them. And your dad went a couple of times. We used to go see Berwick Rangers play on the Saturday and stay and watch Berwick Bandits, the Speedway. If you paid to go into the football, that's true. If you paid the football, you go into the Speedway for nothing. Eh?
But like Cowdenbeath.
Yeah.
So you got the
Well,
football in there.
aye, but
Football
no,
and the
Berwick
cars.
Bandits was the kind of bikes.
Aye.
Great. I used to go on a Saturday. Got my first girlfriend in there, chap.
Take some advice. Probably like my last question then. Go back to Dunfermline one last time. What do you think, in present day, what should Dunfermline's aim be for the next 1 to 5 years, do you think? Where they
They've got to. Well, you've got to aim. And it's see target setting. See when you're giving me a target there, right? For Dunfermline. That's easy. It's an easy answer. Target setting's easy. Target achieving's the secret. How do you achieve your targets? And that's it. You've got to have something in place so you can achieve your target. Now the first target is to get out of the championship. Right? Get out of the championship, get into the Premier League, and then get a foundation. Build the foundation and now. No concrete, cement. Solid. And then add bricks to it. Put the bricks in. Right? So that you can sustain that. Now, they had them in, and it's all went belly up when they went into administration and all this rubbish and boom, 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 boom. So start cement your base and add bricks and build that wall, that tower, and that's what they've got to do. So your first aim, people will say, "Oh, to avoid relegation." No, that's stupid. Let's get up into the playoffs and get in challenging to get to the Premier League, and then invest, buy players that are good enough to play in this championship that can stay when you go up. It's difficult now. I did it at Livingston. I got Fernandes, Marvin Andrews, Javier Bro. That was 3 that all went for Livingston to big teams, Celtic or Rangers. So I was building players. Keno, one of the best midfielders in that season. We finished third in the whole of the Scottish Premiership. One of the best midfielders. Stuart Lovell, ex-Hibs, I got him for Hibs. Great. So get your players, build that can keep you there. But you've got to get there first. Was that quite good?
Interesting, eh? Listen, I'm definitely a lapsed Dunfermline fan, but I suppose if you were a Dunfermline fan, I suppose you would probably just want a wee bit of
consistency.
A wee bit of consistency. But imagine, look at Falkirk. I mean, if you were a Falkirk fan, and they've struggled to get out of that league for years, and now they're looking at it and thinking, wow. I mean, they're having teams have their moments, so look at Falkirk, they could get up to the Premier League, and they've been desperate for that for years.
The only thing I would say is that some people have been saying, like, obviously Rafe had a really good season last year, finished second, but their fans were worried because if they did go up, do they have like the financial
rubbish
ability in that to stay?
Rubbish, James. Honest, total rubbish. Think of it. Just go up and didn't invest in the team. Just go up and make money for Rangers, make money for Celtic, make money for Hibs, Hearts, all the teams that are going to come to Starks Park. That's a worst case scenario, right? If you want to give an effort to try and stay up because you worked hard to get up, then you've got to bring better players in. But control, that's when directors come in. Oh, no, we'll spend this and spend that and spend this. And that's where the money goes. Waste it. Because at the end of the season, they get relegated. But there's nobody in their right mind doesn't want to go up. I can't tell you a team. Maybe, no. I can't tell you a team all the time I've been involved in football that doesn't want to play at the highest level. I'm talking about directors, and what do the directors get out of it? Right? They're going to Ibrox. They're going to Parkhead. That's where you want to go and play. All right, you get beat 3 or 4-0. So what? Right, so what? They're coming to your park and you're giving it a go, but you've got capacity. You're selling the hill. Your season tickets go woof. They go mental. Your season tickets, you treble your season because they want to see Celtic and Rangers. They want to see their team playing against the top players. Who wouldn't want to do that? So, no, I didn't take that, James. Right? Did you listen to me there?
I was just
you'll never ask that question to anybody else ever again, will you?
No, Jim said that, so
honestly, it's the truth. Think about it. But think about what I've just said. No. The players want to play at the highest level.
Thing is, right, if Falkirk do back to back, I don't see them investing a lot, but just because of the money in their stadiums.
They're still.
But even then, when they get up, it's the money that they're going to get for the teams that
they
show
didn't
up
get a lot
and
when
that.
you go up though.
Aye, but it's not even that. It's like the television rights too, because obviously Rangers and
they
Celtic
get a lot more
on
than what they're getting the
every
new
week.
James.
True. But it's just like if you're facing teams like Aberdeen, Celtic, Rangers, Hibs, Hearts.
Falkirk go up, they'll maybe add another 4 or 5 players. Because there'll be players getting freed and players not getting. John McGlynn, he signed good players for the championship, and that's why they're the best team now in the championship. Well done to them. And that's his secret. But he might add 4 or 5 players to try and give them a share. But it's difficult.
I think clubs that go up, like not even in Scotland, but like they panic when they go up and they just spend money that they really shouldn't be spending, whereas they should be saving and then investing in the club.
See in England in the olden days, Bristol City or Bristol Rovers, a boy called Alan Hay, Cowdenbeath boy. I was telling you later on about me getting into coaching Fulford Boys Club. He played for that team. Then and they went down and played down there. and assistant manager at Bristol, some City or Rovers, and they gave boys 3-year contracts. Big contracts did in England because it was big money.
Mm.
And they got relegated the first year. So they've got to pay these boys 2 years at the same wage. That's how and they all went bankrupt. Check what one it was, Paul, I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it was one of the Bristol teams, and they went, that's when it's stupid.
Mm.
It's easy solved.
Aye.
I'll pay you $2,000 a week in the Premier League, but you're only getting, if you get relegated, I'll give you 1,000.
But I would say that an analogy down south is probably slightly different because the rewards are so much greater with the Premiership.
Aye.
But then, so that's why every club
I'm
chases
talking about
it.
years ago. Paul.
I suppose just now, though, down south. So I don't think the rewards are there in Scotland.
Mm.
Right? Remember the guys involved with Wrexham?
Aye.
Apparently they looked at Scottish teams and thought, well, what's the point? But where they could take a Wrexham all the way through the leagues and
Because
the
they were
rewards
looking
and
at
stuff.
a championship team.
Yeah.
But they'd rather take a step 5 team in
Aye.
England because there's profit to be made.
And then they can go and then they can
fans
visit, and then the rewards are there.
Aye.
I think Scotland's.
I don't know what you get, Paul. I don't know what you get if you get relegated from the English Premier. It's something like £25 million.
Well, it's much more than that. It's 100 million each team
Yeah.
for
There you
parachute payment. It's
Payment,
called
100 million.
£100 million.
Scotland,
that-
you get a
For getting
million.
relegated.
That's
Wow.
if you're like,
Feel.
because that's what I think it was Nottingham Forest. They came up
Yeah.
from the Championship, and they spent big on like
Yeah.
15, 16
Aye, they
players.
bought about
They bought like Keelan
Aye.
and
But
Navas from
players.
PSG and all that. They bought big.
They're
And
doing
then
better now.
they finished like 14th or something.
Yeah.
But obviously, they're doing really good now. Bet Liverpool, the only team this season to beat Liverpool,
Aye.
Nottingham Forest.
It's impressive.
But
Impressive. Actually, sorry, I've got one last
Aye,
question. Right,
aye,
this is
aye.
actually my last
I
question.
better know about Hibs.
No, it's no. It's actually no. It's about the Scottish pyramid system. Obviously, top 4 leagues is sorry, it was Cinch. Now it's just the Scottish Premiership now, or the Scottish League system. Also.
I'm not sure what the sponsor is actually.
But also League 2, League 1, Championship, and then Scottish Premiership. But then, like obviously, like the Lowland League, Highland League, and then East of Scotland, West of Scotland. What are your thoughts on teams trying to get promoted up to?
Look at the teams that have done it, James. Keltley Hearts.
The teams that went doing like Kenbeef, Albion, and that.
They've no come back. They've no come back. Berwick Rangers, East Stirling, Cowdenbeath. What was the other one you say?
Albion Rovers.
Albion Rovers. All these teams haven't come back.
I remember finding programmes for the 1980s, right, and going back to like so you saw the 3 leagues, and the bottom of the league and the second division at the
East
time
Stirling.
was Cowdenbeath, East Stirling, the same team were perpetually just at the bottom.
Quite hard.
Right, and they would always just been at the bottom of those leagues. Now you've got clubs like Kelty Hearts who have got so Kelty will have pulled some Dunfermline fans, some Cowdenbeath fans, some Hos. Do you know what I mean? And actually, because they've got ambition, the infrastructure, and what have you. I think it's great for Scottish football because there's ambition. It creates ambition.
I was at Kelty last Saturday. Right, the Dunfermline were here, and I was going to go away doing the year. So I got hospitality at Kelty Hearts. Their game was postponed, and I went in, and I was looking back. My first challenge was Kelty Hearts, and they had no stands, they had no hospitality suites. They just had the old dressing rooms, the showers, and the whatever. And that was all they had. And I went in back now, and they've not just went up there. They had a cabaret at night. Odette Clark was a singer at 6 o'clock. We were just leaving when she come on, but we were in and. But
I missed a good night,
No. But Paul, we had been there since 12 o'clock.
So in the football, so what you're saying is the football was off, so you went on a bender last Saturday.
No. What I'm saying, what I'm saying is to back you up is that Kelty have not only just said right, we're going to go up here. We're going up and we're investing in they've got the social club, they've got the supporters club.
Massive credit.
Massive.
Aye, mad.
And they've got the stand. You can buy your live seat.
Like, cause
buy a seat for life.
Even with like their youth setups and that's quite good because before actually I joined Dundonald, I trialled 3 weeks with Kelty under 20s, and it was just like how getting there and the training times and that were off.
A couple of my pals, they were playing for Kelty's youth system, and then now I think one of them's went to Livingston, where he's on loan. and then the other ones went to Berwick Rangers. It's like a good youth system. So I've been at a couple of their games to watch them.
Because even, sorry to cut you off, but even Kelly's like principals, they bring in youth and they bring in experienced players, like Scott Allen that played for Hibs. Sorry for Hibs again, but Scott Allen, a very, very, very good player.
So much. I mean, think of Kelty Hearts, and they've got someone of that
calibre.
pedigree. I mean,
my grandson plays with them, Paul. Teddy plays, 6-year-old.
And what age is? What, 2018. Something like that. Aye.
And he loves it, and it's good. And I didn't say that about young guys. And is it going to be a football player? Couldn't you tell you? Couldn't tell you? 6-year-old.
You can't tell at that age.
But the fact that they've got that infrastructure,
great.
Listen, I think a lot of fans would probably think the pyramid systems. A lot of fans would think the pyramids, because again, your Spartans, your Bonnyrigg Roads, all these tiny teams.
Let's go. You've mentioned Spartans, Bonnyrigg, Kelty.
Well, from the Highland League, you've got
Elgin.
Well, there's Elgin and there's.
Well, who are there? Or
who are in the kind of the leagues now? Cove Rangers.
Rangers.
I mean, Cove Rangers, massively aspirational club. You know, if you think again,
a lot of money.
I just feel like the way that clubs can go up is a bit like unpolished, because like the winner of the Lowland League and then the winner of the Highland League, they play and then they play and then they play and then it's just a lot of games to just try and get promoted. I think.
Yeah, but you're wanting the best team to go.
True, but I would like, if there was Lowland League and Highland League, make the leagues 1 through 4 maybe a wee bit bigger. Add more wee bit of clubs, like maybe it's like a 12 each league.
You've got to convince Rangers and Celtic.
I know,
that's true. They rule.
Yeah.
They rule the league system.
Yeah.
The other guys go and vote on things, but if Rangers and Celtic didn't want to change it, it doesn't change.
Because I feel like it would be much better for teams in the Lowland and Highland League if you win that league, then you get promoted to the league system.
But not all of them. But interestingly, not all of them were promoted. Because I think, was it not last season the Highland League team? Was it not last season the Highland League team
won it?
That won it, but actually the infrastructure was in place, and they kind, because some of them don't. Some of them actually don't want it. They're happy. They're happy where they're at. Whereas you've then got a Lowland League.
What's the team, Paul?
But what's the point in playing then?
Well, because they're in their league, so the point, I suppose,
they want to stay in the Highland League.
They want to stay in the Highland League.
Aye, but like, so you just want to stay at that level forever then?
So they probably look at what? Yeah, they probably do.
Sorry, Paul. Probably the same thing you touched on earlier on. They're admitting, we know what to go up. We can't afford to go up and invest into we're happy, we're controlled, with our budgets, etc. There, you know. But they're honest about it. What's the name of the team? It's no Huntley. It's
Trent or something.
No, it's a Highland League team, Paul.
Aye, but I suppose if you look at Inverness would have been at one point an aspirational story for teams, and now at the same time, teams like that going, well, do you know what? We're looking where they're sitting. You know, do we really want to? Let's just stay where we're happy and compete.
Inverness Clark didn't want to go on the journey with them.
Yeah.
So they stayed in the Highland League. Inverness Cali and Inverness Thistle. I was there when they were doing it, and the three of them didn't want to get together. Inverness Thistle, think about this, when they amalgamate with Cali.
Are they in that table? Have a look.
It's in the Highland League.
Yeah.
I'll do it right now.
David, am I allowed?
Brora Rangers.
It was Brora, I think.
Am I allowed?
Brora Rangers.
Sound. I was just checking if I was allowed.
Who was it?
I think it was Brora.
Brora.
And then you've got Brechin above them, just desperate to get back out of it.
Yeah, I know.
Desperate.
What was it saying? Inverness Thistle and Inverness Cali wanted to amalgamate, but Clark wanted to stay. Right? Now, when they amalgamate, this is Inverness Thistle, which you were in, had their own social club right in the town centre. Right? They didn't know that they actually owned the park for Church of Scotland. Church of Scotland leased them the park for 100-year lease. They bypassed that. So after 100 years, they owned their park, King's Mills.
Oh, right, okay, right.
So they sold it, all the land they got.
So that's how it kind of, right.
Right. They got the money for that. That went into Inverness Thistle, Cali Thistle, the social club, and they're now defunct.
Well, aye.
can't believe
So maybe clubs look at that. And
Bucky
go,
Thistle, I think Bucky would go up. And Veruri would definitely go up.
Well, do you think then, surely, like, if that was in place, say, team from Moan, team from Highland get to go up, and then 2 from League 2 go down?
If they're good enough.
Say if first don't want to go up, but second do,
Yeah.
they should give them like their
They
spot.
weren't good enough to win it. Tough. That's the rule. Win it and go up. That's the rules. The rules. Did they change it, James?
Sure.
Did they change things just to suit? No.
But do you not think that's like maybe? Like
No, you're
fair
going to
second
no.
team, or-
If they're not good enough to win their league and they're going to go up a league, you're reducing the quality of that league. No. Beat the team that's not good enough to stay up. If you can't beat them, you're not going up.
That's fair enough.
No, it's
I mean, so
why muck about?
for that maybe does show why like a Kelty is doing so well, because they can beat teams on the days that they need to beat the teams. You know what I mean? So that's why like League 2 smash that league at the park, got promoted again to League 1, and I say now they're like a League 1 staple club now. Like they're in
James,
League 1.
Division 3, it's not a good league. Division 2, it's not a good league. You go up then to the Championship, then you've got to say, hey, we're competing. We're competing then, because that is when it becomes a more serious. Look at the teams at the bottom of the Championship now. Right? Dunfermline, Airdrie. Last year, Airdrie were Rhys McKay was the hottest property in management football last year, and look at him, bottom now.
mental.
Because he's lost players. They're all away. Manage it.
Sure. That's me. You got any more quick questions?
Nah, I've
Nah.
Listen, you're away. You've got a job at 150 quid a week, right? So you better be there overtime. I've signed Paul. I'm his agent for 40 grand a week. Paul, you're in.
So I'm happy with that.
I know you're not when you're only getting 25,000 yet.
Aye, that's right. Aye.
Thanks, boys.
Aye,
Thank you.
Thanks, boys.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take your time. Obviously, quite short notice actually. A week ago.
Ah, no.
Was that? You're lucky I'm off
That was
today.
good.
You were lucky because
Busy man.
it's no